Right now, well, we are at the Honda platform. This is, as I would give you a look around, this is the Honda Arena at the Auto Expo 2018, where they've brought a number of new launches, a number of upgrades and facelifts, and return of a very popular sedan. And along with that, there are two very neat surprises. So we will get to that in a bit. But this is what we start with. This is what was the Honda Amaze compact sedan, and this is what's happened to it. So it's gotten a thorough upgrade. It is well, as you can see, it's got the City / Accord style front nose, City like styling with the large chrome belt on the nose, along with that flat front bonnet, which looks very like the Accord. So it's safe to say that the Amaze has grown up indeed. So as you can see, it's got a more flattened design instead of the slightly bulkier body that we saw before. And along with that, it's got these strong muscular side lines now. And as you move back, you will realize that this looks very distinctly different from before. And yeah, so this is how it looks from the back. So the Amaze has got a thorough change in design, and well, now looks like a little baby that the Accord and the City had. In fact, it's a neat cross between the design. Of course, this is the entry segment sedan for Honda India, and this is one of the 4 sedans now that Honda will have. We are going to quickly shift to the other side, where we'll show you the inside of the Amaze by just showing you around the exterior. So that's how the Amaze looks. It's well, the design is still a bit polarizing with the sharp front and the flattened back, but yes, it's certainly striking. It's no more just about ordinary, and it's definitely a car that you would notice on the road, especially when you look at it and you realize that this is the same Amaze that the previous generation compact sedan was. So we are going to move on to the new cars, right? So we'll keep the surprises for later, but this is the show floor. As you can see, this is the Honda WRV, which we reviewed a few days back, and of course you can read about that on our website. And along with that, on the other side, you see well, another WRV, and then you have the Honda Brio as well, and there's the Honda BRV, which is a small version of the CRV, of course, and then there's the Honda Jazz, and then we have the 2017 edition of the Honda City, which has well been pretty popular as always, but has been slightly overshadowed by the Hyundai Verna. And then we have the Honda Accord Hybrid, of which you can also read about on our website, which you can also read about the Honda City on our website as well. We had a full review of it live on our website. So this is the Accord Hybrid, of course, which uses the Atkinson cycle 2-liter petrol engine along with an electric motor. And this is also one of the most fuel efficient full-length luxury sedans in India, and that is something that we've seen when we've driven it. So yes, the Accord is here as well. Along with this, the second new launch is the Clarity fuel cell concept. This is a concept from Honda. This is called the Honda Clarity fuel cell, and well, it's got a slightly Accord-ish front. As you can see, that's the Accord, and this is the Clarity concept, and well, giving you a look around with it. And as you can see, once again, strong design cues from Honda. This, of course, runs on hydrogen fuel cell. It's not an electric battery powered car, neither does it come with a combustion engine using conventional fuel sources. So that's pretty neat. It's one of the first FCV concepts that we've seen at Auto Expo. In fact, it's the only FCV concept that we've seen at Auto Expo so far. But well, Mercedes-Benz is also expected to join in on the fuel cell bandwagon. And yes, this is the once again to say, the Clarity fuel cell executive sedan car. So just a few strong styling cues. As you can see, the wheel hatch has been designed in a very different way. it's not the conventional wheel arch that you have on the front wheel, but instead you get this sort of it's a little bit of a throwback to the 60s, which were designed in terms of the wheel arch design. And well, that's not a bad thing, because I personally think that it looks pretty interesting, and it certainly looks very different. It's got this wing-like rear end. Of course, it's stylized like a modern car, but it's definitely a pretty interesting looking design. Now then we move on to what we see here. This was one of India's first luxury executive SUVs, and one of the most beloved of that time. This is the Honda CR-V. This is the new Honda CR-V, of course. Let us just get in there. And yes, here we are. So this is the new Honda CR-V, which is the 2018 CR-V, which is launching in India. And as you can see, the overall design remains fairly similar. And what kind of remains similar is, of course, this rear end, but of course now it's more angular. It's got more cuts. It's got more of the sharp edges. And here we have inside the cabin. This is the new infotainment system. It looks way more flush than that of its competitors. And then you have this is the gear selector. Then you have, of course, the standard economy. Yeah. And well, the steering wheel is also a little different from the one that we. No, well, it's actually almost the same as the one that we see in the Accord, the present generation Accord. Of course, this is the new generation CR-V, and well, it gets a 7-seater variant, and that's a pretty interesting thing. That's a pretty good thing. So the CR-V gets a little bit of utility as well. It's not all about style and functional luxury anymore. And from the back, of course, it's distinctly recognizable as the Honda CR-V, and it's a little sharper. It's not as muted as before. It doesn't have that muted elegance. It looks more jazzy, especially with this chrome belt lining over here and the upended rear LEDs. So with this has of course been a characteristic of the CR-V, but the chrome belt sort of adds a slightly jazzier element to it. So that's the CR-V, and well, it's coming to India pretty soon. And now we have, this is the new Honda Amaze. We start with the boot. Look at it, and well, it's got a little bit of a boot lip, but it's got a pretty big boot lip, so to say. But it's got a nice boot space. It's pretty open, so should be enough for 2 large bags and 2 small ones too. And then you come inside and you see that the Amaze has grown up inside as well. It gets a new infotainment system, which doesn't seem to be, or rather it does seem to be the digipad. It's sealed for now, so it does get the digipad infotainment system. No HDMI port over here, but along with that, the steering wheel unit has been kept in the same format as the more upscale units like the Accord and the City, and now the CR-V as well. So Honda does seem to be playing its card right. This car feels premium. In fact, for the first time, the Honda Amaze feels quite premium. In fact, once you take a look inside, you see a cabin that doesn't feel like a compromise of any sort, and that's a really good thing to say. That's a really good thing to have. And on the rear seat, well, yeah, here we go. You even have a central armrest with cup holders, so space has also been somewhat improved. So there you go. That's the Amaze from the inside, and then we give you a close-up from the front. And well, that's that done with the CR-V and the Amaze. And the third car that Honda is launching, the car that's returning to India, is of course this one, the all-new Honda Civic. And well, this one is one hell of a car. It's got a big legacy to live up to, and well, already its design has been a little bit polarizing, but yes, it certainly falls in line with the new Honda design language. It certainly falls in line with the kind of cars that Honda happens to be making. Once again, a very similar steering wheel unit, and along with that you do get a new infotainment system, which doesn't happen to be the digipad once again. There you go, the CVT gearbox and automatic climate control, and the infotainment, the Honda sensing infotainment system. This is not the digipad which powers the lesser models. This is the sensing model which powers the Accord. So once again, a very upmarket presentation from Honda. Of course, electronic sunroof, and all black interiors, all black leather, dual tone texture dashboard, and along with that electronic seats as well. So this is the interior of the Civic. We'll quickly take a look at the boot space as well. Yeah, there we go. So once again, a little bit of a loading lip. This is much smoother than the ones before, and well, pretty impressive for cabin space, for luggage space, and that does seem quite good. We're gonna quickly close it, and so that's how that looks from the back. Looks a little bit like a Polestar, and the design inputs do seem to be pretty interesting element. So that's the return of the Civic for you, ladies and gentlemen. It gets these really funky diamond cut alloys, and of course it looks damn smart as well. Well, so that's for the Civic. Now I'm going to quickly make my way to the other end of Honda's portfolio. So these are the cars that they've launched. These are the production cars. These are the ones that you will instantly see on Indian soil, but the ones that you may not see right now. But how about that? The new V concept and the sports EV concept. That's a real surprise. It's not something that we were expecting to really spot here in India, but look at that. So this is the Honda Sports EV. This is the one that made all sorts of headlines, all the good headlines when it was first unveiled at the Geneva Auto Show. It can even talk to you, like you see, it's got that hashtag Honda EV, and then it can sort of emote here as well on the LED displays, and got the. So this is a hark back to Honda's origin. This is the exact style that Honda had when it launched its first car after its motoring history back in the 1960s. And the sports EV, as you can see, it's got that boxy retro look, but there's no denying, there's no refuting the fact that this is a car for the future. This is a car which is meant for the future. It's got fully autonomous driving. It can greet the driver, it can recognize the owner, it can, well, it's got a host of LEDs, and this car is modeled for ride-sharing format. So the front LEDs, not just headlamps, not just front simulated carburetor panel, but a multifunctioning LED screen. And on the inside, well, we couldn't show you the inside of that, but this is the new V concept, and this is a, well, of course, an SUV platform concept. This is a modular SUV platform concept. So the inside of these cars is going to be like this. Look at that touch screen. That's a massive display on the center console. So that's a display which is going to adorn the entire front panel, and then the steering wheel, well, it's there in case you need to take over control. This is enabled for level 4 autonomous driving, and as it comes with level 4 autonomous driving, it is something which is incredibly proficient. It can recognize gestures. It has a number of cameras all around. So it has side cameras, it has up and top and bottom cameras, and of course it has cameras to the rear, and it can of course collate all that view to give a 360 view on the center panel, and of course separate views. Along with that, gesture control, connected services for map and telephony, office, email services, work services, the entire drill for autonomous cars. That's what you get with the Honda autonomous car future platforms. And just giving you a quick look at the interiors. Well, this is of course pretty much a sketch. It is not well, a final production design, so to say, but well, be it a sketch, it is incredibly impressive. It is a car that does make people look back, and well, if this wasn't a good surprise for the Indian auto market, nothing is. This is a very clear intent about how the Indian auto market is maturing over time, how more car companies are taking the Indian auto market not just as a consumer mass market oriented place, but a market where a lot of exciting things are going to happen in the future with all types of cars, autonomous, connected, electric. The future is growing, and Auto Expo 2018 is the start of all of that. Now Honda has pulled out a lot of stops. The Amaze does look much more mature now. The Civic is back, and of course the CR-V is back too, and along with that we have these two little gentlemen who have graced India this time at Honda's platform. That's it. We are going to wrap up our walk around of the Honda stall at the Auto Expo 2018. If you have queries, do feel free to write to us. I may have missed a few of your requests and messages. I will try my best to answer that, and until then it's a goodbye, and we'll come back to you for more from the Auto Expo floor.